Do you think we still have another couple legs up to go, or do you think we're kind of there with when it comes to people knowing about NFTs?
Um, I think there's a huge amount of space to grow still. I think in terms of people knowing NFTs versus people that have actually made a wallet and gotten an NFT is a huge divide. I think doing a MetaMask, setting all that up, buying crypto, transferring it over, those are difficult steps for a normal person. I think a lot of people believe that like this Coinbase NFT is going to solve that, but even that still to me feels a little complicated. Once we see NFTs and crypto as easy as PayPal, then we're really going to see it launch. And so I think in terms of that, I think we're still very early. In terms of people knowing about NFTs, I think we're getting pretty big. But I also think there's a lot of people that know about NFTs might know about it through negativity or something. So I think there's still a lot of education
Mm.
in that sense as well. But I'm still very optimistic. Whether the art world still has a huge leg is to be determined. I think as the space grows, uh, art was kind of an outsized portion of the NFT space, and it's going to slowly go down while the collectibles and the access to events and all the alpha groups and all that kind of stuff goes up. But I think it'll still, in relative to how many people are collecting art NFTs, that will grow. But I think its portion of the overall market will shrink, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It did feel like Nifty Gateway and a lot of these projects were just like the outsized bit of news in the space. It was all about
Hmm.
Beeple, it was all about B20 and all these art pieces. And frankly, it's not a sector that I'm, too familiar with. Like I come from the collectible side. I come from like, investing in crypto in 2016. There was none of that,
Yeah.
right? And so, just schooling me on the art world and staying in that kind of sector or that mode of discussion, how has the art world changed from 2020 maybe in the NFT space, other than being obviously a lower market cap
Yeah.
or market
Yeah. Yeah.
size than it
Yeah.
was? I'm sure it might be even more market cap these days, but
Oh, I'm
anyways, how has
sure.
that changed from
When I
2020?
joined, I think around that time, the biggest sale all-time high was like a pack sale for like $5,000, which is like what one at the time it was probably like 10 Ethereum or something, but now it's like 1.5 Ethereum or something. It's so small compared to what things flip for every second on the market. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's gotten massive. Um, and I think what we see is a lot of these kind of platforms, once the degens of the space sniff out that there's an easy 2x, they flood these markets, whether it's Top Shot or Nifty Gateway or Art Blocks. Uh, all of those kind of have this gamble aspect that if you win big, and that all of them flood these sites until they dry them out, and then they go on to the next thing. What we're seeing now is I think Nifty Gateway has recovered from that cycle. I don't know if Top Shot has quite recovered, and I think Art Blocks is still on that path, but it has a long term path to it, so I'm sure it will. But it's interesting to see how the space can come in, take something that's working really well, and just destroy it temporarily.
Squeeze all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
juice
yeah,
out of it, every single
yeah.
droplet.
And so I think that's what we're kind of seeing with like when it comes to art. And now we'll see that with artists, whether it's X copy, and then everybody comes in and squeezes all the liquidity out of X copy they can in that moment, and then that dips, and then people have to come back in. But everyone kind of looks at these quick get rich quick things, and no one's really looking at the long term aspect of the arts, which I think is what you know. I'm to me, I buy a lot of this PFP stuff to make quick flips so that I can invest and buy like one of ones on super rare. Because to me, that's like the long term play. Because if you can invest in these
Mm.
artists, they're going to grow. That sector will grow, but it's a long term play, and you have to kind of like utilize the gambling aspects of the space to get the money to do the things that aren't going to flip for a couple of years.